Yesterday I was still looking at the world all-time list in the 400, and you were still there, standing in fourth place with your 43:45 performance. I guess when you were watching the Olympics and you saw what Wade Van Niekerk did, that must have been a shock.
Yeah, it did shock me. I was expecting him to run fast. I didn't think he would break the world record. I thought he would get close around, 43.2, 43.3, based on how he did last year. But it did surprise me that he did break the world record. It looked like he probably could have ran 42.9 if he would have leaned a little bit or ran a little bit through the line. But I know how it feels that last 10 meters. Your body's not there anymore, so I could understand why it didn't happen. But it's an amazing feat. That record's been there since '99, and a lot of people have tried. I've come close. Records are meant to be broken, so that's what they're there for. And congratulations to him, and hopefully he can continue to run fast and get down to the 42s.
When you reflect on your whole career now, what would you say would be the most satisfactory moment, or if you have maybe 2 or 3 moments that you would say are the highlights for you?
The number one has to be the 2004 Olympics. Being that it was my first real big international meet, and I went out there and I was an underdog. No one really knew who I was, and I went out there and just executed my race the way I knew how, and ended up winning. The next 2 would have to be either Stockholm in 2007 when I ran 43.5, or Rome in 2006 when I ran 43.6. Both of those races they were different style of races for me. In Stockholm, I was able somehow. I wasn't winning at 300, but I was able to have a tremendous kick down the home stretch. Especially with those tight turns on that track. I was surprised that I ran that fast, but I knew it was coming. And at that point, it seemed like a lot of people were saying LaShawn was going to beat me at Worlds, and I was able to go out there and drop a time and show them that I'm still here, and that I'm going to run faster than what I have been all year. But in Rome, it was the talk was about Xavier Carter and me, the showdown between us two. He had just ran 19.6 a week before, and ran and won all 3, the 1, 2, and 4 in the college meet at NCAAs. So that was a big talk, was him racing me, and I didn't let it bother me. I just actually took that as motivation and as energy, and went out there and just ran a perfect race as much as possible. And so those 3 would probably be the ones that stand out the most to me.
At one point in your career, you were dominating the event from year to year, and there was a lot of talk about breaking the world record, which did not happen. But was that a little bit frustrating, or did you kind of get over that?
At first, it was a little bit frustrating, but in my mind, I knew I could still do it. And once the injuries and surgery started coming in, it kind of went away. But I did work hard to get to where I was, and I fought every time. But I think the more I thought about it, and the more I forced myself to try and break the world record, the further it got away from me. Trying to break world records is a lot of stress. But I think if you just go in and not worry about it and just run, that's when you start running really, really fast. I don't, like, for instance, with Bolt, I don't think he's out there to try and break the world record every time he steps on the track. He just does. He just goes out there and runs and just shows what type of speed he has. And that's when he was breaking the world records. For me, I think I was thinking too much and trying to force myself to do it instead of just letting it come. But I don't look back, and I'm not disappointed I never broke it. I tried my best, and I have medals and I have championships that'll never get taken away from me. So
that's very important. I want to talk about your, let's say, a turning point in your career. There's a lot of kids today, they don't seem to be able to project themselves in the future, what they could be doing in the future. Was there a point in your career that you thought, this is the turning point, I'm ready to go to the highest possible level?
When I was 19 in 2003, after coming off a hamstring strain, my first race of the year I went 45-1, which was a PR. I think right then I kind of knew that I was going somewhere. And then the next year, every race I ran a season best. I ran from 44.8 all the way down to 44 flat at the Olympics. So that whole year I was able to run consistently, and I was able to win the tight races where me and my training partner Daryl Williamson were neck and neck down the home stretch the whole last 100, and I was able to stay relaxed longer than he was. So that right there kind of showed that I was heading towards that direction. And then in 2005, with Tyler Christopher coming on the scene and that world champs, I was able to drop down to the 43, the first person since Michael to run 43. That's where it kind of sealed the deal that I knew I was in the right direction.
It seems the 400 is the event where it's the hardest to last long. I mean, the great runners, the great one-lappers do not last very long, but you and LaShawn are both very good examples of durability.
Yeah, it's not easy to be able to run a full lap as fast as you can for so many years. All the wear and tear on your body. Karani's is an example of one that's going to be doing the same thing for a while. He's been on the scene since 2012, 2011 at the time. So I think he's going to follow in our footsteps of longevity in the 400. But it depends on how you take care of your body. If you take care of your body like you should, you can still run this event for years and years. But if you don't, it's going to be 3-4 years and you're gone. So it's really how you take care of your body on a lot of events.
Well, Jeremy, I want to thank you very much and wish you a good stay in Montreal. And even if maybe the extra laps will be suffering, hopefully you'll do well here in Montreal.
Hey, thank you. Hopefully I'm not laid out on the track dead for 30 minutes.
Thanks.